reelection in Vermont against what I can only assume is a Subaru filled with maple syrup. Senator Bernie Sanders. Senator, I want to get into now, you have said that this upcoming midterm election might be the most important election in our lifetimes.
That is what I said.
Now, people say this over and over again. Politicians have said this year in and year out. You can't just keep saying something over and over again, assuming people are going to believe it. Witch hunt, witch hunt. Why is this the most important midterm?
Because we have the worst president in the history of the United States. And that is...
You'll at least admit to him being the best at being the worst.
All right, I'll grant you that.
Thank you.
And that it is imperative that we end one-party rule in Washington, where Republicans control the White House, the Senate, and the House.
No. Okay. Is that what this is? Is 2018 about impeaching the president?
No. What 2018 is about is, for a start, paying attention to the needs of working families in this country, stopping an agenda which wants to throw up to 32 million people off of the health care they have, make massive cuts to Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, disability, education, and environmental protection, all the while giving $1 billion in tax breaks to the top 1%. This election is about, among other things, stopping that agenda.
Okay, well, tell me this, though. But look at me. I got a tax cut.
I'm looking at you.
Look at me.
I'm looking
You're
at
looking
you.
at me? All right. Jesus.
Now, what were you saying?
This is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I'm a happy guy.
All right.
All right.
Good.
I got a tax cut.
Good.
4% unemployment. There's a burger joint in Pyongyang. Why do I want the Republicans out of office?
Well, I think you want them out of office for a number of reasons. I think the agenda of giving tax breaks to billionaires and cutting programs for people who are living in desperation is not what this country is about. I think moving toward an authoritarian form of government, where you have a president who is a pathological liar,
He's creative.
He is creative in his lies. I do grant you that, but they are lies nonetheless. And I think most significantly, this country has struggled with bigotry for several hundred years now. And we have made some progress in recent times. And to have a president who is trying to divide us up based on the color of our skin or our gender or our religion or the country we came from, that is not what this country is about, and we cannot allow that to continue.
Let me say that. We're going to disagree on the way in which we see the president, but you obviously you don't like what he stands for. And in a midterm that you see as this important, when you're looking at candidates on the left, is this the midterm where you don't support that progressive who might not have a chance of winning, and you support the more moderate who has a chance to win?
You know, when I ran for president...
But isn't that important?
No. What's important right now is that 4 years ago, we had the lowest voter turnout in this country since World War II. Lowest voter turnout, about 37%. What's important now is that ordinary people, young people, get involved in the political process. They vote, they run for office, they demonstrate, and they stand up for American values. And we're beginning to see that all over this country. People running and winning who are running for the very first time.
Do you think there's any tactical move, though, for the Democratic Party? Should they be focused on those candidates who can win? Should they be focused on one specific issue as opposed to just being anti-Donald Trump?
Right. No, they cannot just be anti-Donald Trump. What they have got to be is talking to the needs of working families. We are the only major country on earth not to guarantee health care to all people. A majority of the American people think that's wrong. Let's move forward. Medicare for all. We got millions of people right now. I'm going to California literally tomorrow to talk to people who are working at Disneyland, one of the most profitable, Disney is one of the most profitable corporations in America. These people don't earn enough money to pay for an apartment. Some of them are living in tents. So what we need to do is raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour. Instead of giving tax breaks to billionaires, we got to demand that they start paying their fair share of taxes.
Wait, okay. You have a bill. You are pushing this idea that that would guarantee every American a job that pays at least $15 an hour. But whatever happened to this idea of pulling yourself up by your bootstraps? What do you have against
Well, that's a
bootstraps?
great idea, except it really is not working in America today. We're seeing relatively little mobility. If you're an African-American kid of a wealthy parent, for example, the likelihood of you making it to the top is less than if you're a white working-class kid. The truth is right now that economic mobility is fairly stagnant. The rich are getting richer. The middle class are struggling. We got 40 million people living in poverty. We got hundreds of thousands of kids can't afford to go to college because of lack of income. And we got many people in this country who leave school $30,000, $50,000, $100,000 in debt. That, frankly, is insane. So our job, and this is what we got to do, we got to create a government that starts working for all people, not just wealthy campaign contributors. That's what this campaign is about.
All people, corporations are people too. And I don't know if they'd be so hot on some of these ideas here. Is this just for show?
Well, Jordan, you raise a very important point.
Yeah.
And that is, as a result of this disastrous Citizens United Supreme Court decision, allowing corporations to spend as much money as they want on elections, we are seeing the undermining of American democracy. You're seeing one family, the Koch brothers, planning to spend up to $400 million in this midterm election. That is not what democracy is about. That's what oligarchy is about. And that's what we're fighting.
You got to spend money to make money, Bernie. I mean, we have more to talk about when we come back. We'll be back for more with Bernie Sanders. Over the break, we were talking, and some pretty big news. You told me you're running for president in 2020.
No. I'm running for re-election in Vermont to the United States Senate.
That's not what
I'm
you
doing.
told me? I thought it was something. There has been talk. Your former campaign manager, Jeff Weaver, this week said you're considering it.
Well, consider a lot of things, but that decision, the focus right now is on 2018. 2020 is a way away, and we'll make that decision at the appropriate time.
Look, I'm on the other side, but I love the idea of you running. If you can help divide the Democratic Party, I'd be all about this.
No. Let me say a word about that. The truth is, there is less division among the American people, and certainly within the Democratic Party, than people think. For example, do people think we should give tax breaks to billionaires? Overwhelming opposition. People are unified on that. Do people believe we should have sensible gun safety legislation? Vast majority of the American people believe in that. Do people believe that women should earn the same amount of money doing the same work as men? Overwhelming support for that. So if you really go down to people believe that climate change is real.
Oh, God, you're just throwing.
Now, I know you and the Donald think it's a hoax.
Just
Emanating from China. I got it.
yeah.
But there are some of us who disagree with that suggestion.
Well, there are critics, even in the Democratic Party, who say having people like you in charge, the face of the Democratic Party, or at least of the progressives, that it's time for younger people to step on up. Young
Are you
people
suggesting? Are you suggesting that I am not a young voice for the Democratic Party? That never ends. It never ends.
I'm saying, Bernie, I'm saying there are young voices out there like Joe Biden who deserve a chance.
You're right.
Here's the thing, Bernie. In case you decide to run, I want to help you.
Okay.
And so I have a couple slogans that I thought I'd like to show you to see if
I'm open.
anything
I'm
fits.
open. What do you got?
All right, we have here, Bernie for president. I can speak to birds.
That's a winner.
Sanders, aligned with Trump on more than you'd think.
No,
No?
not a winner.
Bernie, something about millionaires and billionaires.
All right. We'll take that one. 2 out of 3. Not bad.
That one's not bad?
Not bad.
I don't know all the details. It feels like it just has to be quippy, right?
Yeah.
Tell me this, Bernie. There is a lot of talk about Donald Trump, and you go after him a lot. North Korea. If he sits down, if he gets Kim Jong-un to sit down, they talk. Nobel Prize? Would that be an
Well, it's not a question of a Nobel.
Well, it is. It's about the awards.
Actually, it's a serious issue. North Korea is a very isolated, authoritarian regime which has nuclear weapons. And I think in any way, in every way possible, anything that we can do to rid the world of that danger is a step forward. And if Trump can pull it off, that's a good thing.
What actions has he taken? Where is the country heading in the right direction? Where do you think we're pointed?
Well, I think obviously after the terrible Wall Street recession, when millions of people lost their jobs and their homes and their life savings because of the greed and illegal behavior of Wall Street, we have been recovering. In fact, the entire world economy has been recovering. So the degree that unemployment is low today, that's obviously a good thing. The problem, however, is that many of the jobs being created are not paying a living wage, and the younger generation, everything being equal, unless we change it, will have a lower standard of living than their parents. That's wrong. So our goal now is not only a full employment economy, it's to create an economy where people earn living wages, to create an economy where you're not punished for getting a higher education by leaving school deeply in debt, creating an economy which exists all over the industrialized world, where healthcare is a right, not a privilege.
Bernie Sanders, tell me something I already know.
What you already know is your great shock and concern that 3 people in our country own more wealth than the bottom half of the American people. And I know that you share with me your deep concern about that level of income and wealth inequality.
Your socialism goes so deep, we're sharing concern now as well. Unbelievable. Senator Bernie Sanders.